When I started gardening, I realized that I really need to have perennials. Perennials come back year after year and they grow in size over the years. And when I started gardening, I was really attracted to a lot of bold and bright colors. I acquired a lot of perennials in the sunshine colors, which is why one of my friends started to call my style brutal. I don't mind. I like bright colors. Here are some examples. I ordered this yellow coreopsis, but I was not sure if it would survive our winters, but it did. And it comes back every year, and every year is absolutely packed with bright yellow flowers. Tulips. I started with tulips. When I had my guerrilla garden, this was the first thing I did. I planted tulips. And why? Because they give us a promise of summer and they bring in the color in the bleak times of spring when no other color otherwise exists. And here is my favorite tulip. It's called Leo. Globe flowers. I remember them from my grandma's garden. They were partly wild, but they flowered nicely, and I wanted to have them in my border as well. Yarrow or Achillea. Everybody knows that white version of this flower that grows everywhere. It literally grows everywhere in Finland, and it's the most commonplace plant. But then I realized that there are different colors. There are yellows and oranges, and I thought, what a fantastic thing. And irises. They don't really flower for a long time, but the flowers are otherworldly. This is a yellow variety that we have inherited from the prison garden. That was a short look into the bright colors flowers that I had. But over the years I started looking for new kind of flowers. That's when I started liking these full blues and purples that are now all around the garden. First I looked for good pollinator plants and I found salvias, and I like these spiky flowers. They flower a long time and bees love them. I grew my first echinaceas from seed and they are still growing well in my border. They are the typical purple ones that everybody sees. But then I realized that they also have different cultivars and different colors, and I started buying them. And these are also very good pollinator plants. Oh, lilies, of course, lilies. Lilies are the reason why I started gardening. Lilies were growing in the traffic island that I took up as my guerrilla garden. And I still have lilies from that guerrilla garden growing in the other garden now. And alliums. Alliums are fantastic, and they also come in so many shapes and sizes. These large alliums, they are the size of a child's head, and they're a really good show in the early summer. This is called globe muster, and it really is a big flower, and they always covered with pollinators. Finally, the rose campion. They always say that rose campions are biannual, but mine has grown for 3 years now. And they also say that rose campions seed around and spread, but mine doesn't. So I don't know what's wrong with it, but I love it. It's got these silvery leaves and then really, really purple magenta flowers. It's a really good plant. Moving on. Yep, I used to hate pink. And I avoided this pale colored flowers that I saw everywhere. They reminded me of old ladies, and I thought that I'm not an old lady. But nowadays, maybe I'm an old lady because I wish all my borders were pink, and I love these delicate colors and the romantic flowers. Here are some of my favorite pink flowers. Well, sea holly is not pink, but it's still in this category because it's this silvery plant with blue tones, and it's very, very nice. It's spiky and dramatic. I'm also aware that clematis comes in many colors, but my pink one is just to die for. It looks especially good against the grey rocks. Oh, peonies. Peonies are too much. The flowers are so heavy, so that the plant cannot hold them up. And the fluffy pink flowers are enormous. Oh my god, peonies are fantastic. These are not my peonies. My peonies are white. Nevertheless, I didn't know this flower existed. Astrantia, or great masterwort. I found it by accident and I put it in my garden. And then I realized it's a very reliable plant. It grows in size and it has a lot of flowers. It flowers over a month and the pollinators love it. Finally, Gora. I know Gora has a new name, but I call it Gora because the other one is really difficult. I grew my Gora from seed because I could not find it in the garden centers in Finland. Gora doesn't survive the winter in Finland, but I have successfully overwintered it in a cellar once, so I tried again this year. I saw large plantings of Gora in Budapest, and I loved the look. It goes well with grasses, and I hope that my Goras survive because I want to have more of them. Finally, I wanted to show you some endemic flowers that I've put in my garden beds as well. Although garden plants are very good because they behave well and they have large flowers, I also use endemic plants so that they would feed the endemic insects. Meadowsweet. It grows everywhere in the countryside and it's one of my first summer memories. Oxeye daisies are the true summer flower, but they can get very vigorous in good garden soil, so I never let them go to seed, but I enjoy them every time when they come up and I enjoy their flowers fully. I always saw the red campions in forests and I thought that it's a too pretty flower to live in the forest. So I thought it might look good in a border and I put it there, but I tried to collect the seeds before they fall because it can really spread. I collect the seeds and spread them around elsewhere in the garden so that we would have natural flowers in the garden as well. This name is really difficult. Purple loosestrife? Never mind. It reminds me of swimming trips to lakes and seasides. It's a very typical plant in Finland on the seaside. Oh, this one. I gave up with yellow toad flax. It was too happy in the good garden soil and it quickly spread everywhere. I bought only 3 little plants and next year it was covering meters of border. It's very pretty, but I had to take it out. I took it out from the border, but I have a feeling that I have to fight against it for the rest of my life. That's it. Let's see what the next time brings. Bye.